outside. We're streaming right now on this Friday, June 16th on YouTube, but also distributing this audio and video to all of our podcast subscribers because we didn't get an episode out this week, as on Wednesday night we were tracking a tornado warning on the ground in Jasper County, South Carolina, and near the city of Hardeeville. Well, right now, here on this Friday, if you are watching along with me, I'm showing you some pictures of a pyrocumulus cloud from the Pulp Road Fire that continues to burn in Brunswick County, North Carolina. I'm going to scroll through our Twitter feed here in a moment, talk a little bit about what the Forest Service is telling us, not only about the firefighting status, but also an air quality concern that is now popping up as we are continuing to look at this large fire that on this late Friday has grown to over 3,500 acres, and it's being seen up and down portions of the North Carolina and South Carolina coast. So if you're watching along with me on YouTube right now, or maybe on Spotify where you can actually see the video along with our podcast, I'm going to scroll our Twitter feed here past some of the continuing thunderstorm warnings that we have on this Friday. Take a look at this from Gannon Medwick. You can see that rich red in the they're continuing to deal with the light rain and ash combined here in southern New Hanover County as a result of this storm. Of course, the smoke is being carried by the winds. The smoke is also being lifted up and kind of thrown about because of that pyrocumulus cloud. It's kind of like a mini little weather system. The intense heat from that fire is acting as an exaggerated thunderstorm, if you will, and that's a little bit of what we're experiencing here. Now, it is showing up on radar, as our own Frank Strait has picked up here, showing you how you can see the evidence of that pyrocumulus cloud on radar imagery using the high CC values to detect the clouds and the rain interspersed with those low CC values for the smoke. A couple more pictures here we can show from Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich in WCNC Charlotte, where the sea breeze has been picking up some of that smoke going offshore. That's probably the best place for it, but certainly one that is not only maybe being detected by your nose, but also your eyes if you're looking up and down, because Ed Piotrowski, the chief met there in Myrtle Beach, is saying that he's also seeing the fire. This is a picture that a viewer sent him from Holden Beach. So what's the situation with the fire right now? So here's a report from WECT television there in the Wilmington area. So this is the Green Swamp Game Land in Supply, North Carolina. That's in the Brunswick County area. Now, let's start first with the air quality concerns. So there's air quality already code orange, code red for portions of New Hanover County and Brunswick County because of the fire that is continuing to burn in this area. But this is an interesting note to me, of course, because I'm based out of the Charlotte area. Coincidentally, the Charlotte area is also in a code red as we head into the weekend due to ozone levels that the DEQ has picked up. No direct relation with the fire, but as we are continuing to make our way through June, and we are all still remembering the Canadian wildfires that have been continuing to bring smoke down the East Coast into the Mid-Atlantic and portions of the Southeast, a lot of this is ringing very familiar, right? So if you're watching along with me here, you can see that North Carolina Air Quality Forecast Center, the DEQ map, where we have code oranges in the Mecklenburg County, Charlotte area, and some code reds closer to where the fire is burning along the coast. You could expect some of that will carry into South Carolina as well. So what's the state of the fire? Well, as for the North Carolina Forest Service, they tell us that they're continuing to burn. The report here, 2,500. We know the latest tweet from Brad said about 3,500. This is a very large fire, 0% contained as they continue operations through Thursday and on Friday. And this jumped out to me too here in the WECT report. It says the initial controlled burn was conducted by the North Carolina Wildlife Forest Commission, and then it became seemingly uncontrolled as what was a prescribed burn seems to have gotten out of hand and away from them here. The fire is described as the Pulp Road Fire by the NCFS, that's the North Carolina Fire Service, burning east of North Carolina Road 211 in the Green Swamp Game Land, or the Green Swamp Nature Preserve area, and that is what we are talking about here, especially if you are along the coast. I can actually, if I'm doing this right, swap back over to look at the latest from the Forest Service themselves. I thought I still had that open, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Here it is. Here it is in my screen. If you're reading along with me here, here's the latest from the North Carolina Forest Service. So significant smoke impact expected from this fire, which again is in the town of supply and surrounding communities. This is a roughly 2,500 or 3,500 square acre fire, and firefighting personnel are continuing to combat, trying to eliminate hazardous unburned fuels outside the fire area. Because, of course, that's what they were initially trying to do with the controlled burn, right? They try to use up some of those unburned fuels that are on the forest floor, and this one seems to have gotten ahead of them. Crews have mopped up some significant spotovers along Richardson Road. Firefighting personnel will continue strategic fire operations into the weekend. As weather conditions allow, they'll be continuing to monitor some of those sporadic thunderstorms that we've been seeing all week as we get into a more summertime pattern. Significant smoke is expected for communities in and around Brunswick County. Areas surrounding the Green Swamp Nature Preserve and northeast of Wilmington will experience the heaviest smoke impacts, as we saw in some of that satellite imagery watching the sea breeze carry that smoke away. Highway 17 and other corridors could be impacted with substantial smoke, resulting in low visibility and challenging travel conditions overnight and into Saturday. In the area of interest, in the name of safety, residents and commuters, that is, may want to consider allowing for extra travel time or plan alternate routes, especially if you are one who are sensitive to air quality. This is an area, as you may be considering travel for the weekend, you'd want to avoid. The North Carolina Forest Service says they're mobilizing its Red Incident Management Team to command of the Pulp Road Fire, and currently operational resources working through this fire include multiple engine and tractor plow strike teams, as well as aircraft providing aerial support. So you may see some of those aircraft that are conducting the fire support if you're in the area. The public is reminded to keep their drones away from the wildfire as to not impact those aerial operations, those aerial firefighting operations. We'll end with this silver lining. There are no injuries or structures threatened by this fire at this time, but it is, of course, notable as we are continuing to see that pyrocumulus cloud and also the air quality concerns with it. Again, we don't have a formal episode of the Carolina Weather Group this week because on Wednesday night we were tracking live storms throughout the Carolinas, and you can always stay up to date with severe weather warnings from the Carolina Weather Group by following us on Twitter or tuning into our Carolina Weather Net that streams for free any place that you can watch YouTube. All right, well, from out here in this nice backyard where the temperatures have cooled a bit following a thunderstorm here, I'm James Brierton. Thanks for checking in with us here at the Carolina Weather Group. Appreciate you being subscribed. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again real soon.